And we're back with game number 2. Welcome back. It's 4:45 first pitch now from Caldwell. Madison Caldwell is on the mound for game number 2. Mike Vesci back here joining you with game number 2. The sun is finally starting to leave the area a little bit. And I just looked down and I am burned on my arms. So an early 2-0 count. Madison Caldwell comes into this game with a 1-8 record on the season. That one's in there for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. Borowski getting the start on the mound for Bridgeport in game number 2. She held the Eagles in check in game number 1 after she came in relief of Zarate. And while I was in there getting the lineups, briefly had a chance to hear Carly Peruso talking about Borowski, and she was saying, she's a really good pitcher. She's definitely hard to hit, and we have to face her in game number 2. And that's ball 4, and D'Amato will walk. So just like game number 1, it's a leadoff walk to start this game for Bridgeport. Sun's starting to come overhead here. We'll get you a baseball score update in a moment. Last check, Post was leading that one 7-0. And they're on their way to a mercy roll, as that's a sac bunt right there, but it's actually going to be safe at first, and the throw from DeAngelis is errant, so it's an infield single on the bunt to DeAngelis. Runner stays put. D'Amato moves to third, third, on the E5 throwing error. And now Angela Oros will come with runners on the corner. So, yeah, Post has just taken a 13-0 lead in the top of the 7th at baseball. So that's going to be a mercy rule if they get 3 more outs for them. And that's going to be another wild throw, and that's going to score a run. So stolen base in an E2. And again, I'm doing both stats and calling this game right now. So right now, that's 2 errors in the last 2 at-bats for Post, as that one's fouled off, and now it's a 1-0 game. Runner now stands at second, and McFarland on the stolen base. Sakala has not been able to throw out McFarland or any of these runners for that matter. Bridgeport's a quick team. We've seen it so far in this game, in the last game. Tough to throw out on the base paths. And especially with a runner on third, you don't always want to throw down like that, because then the runner from third can come home. And Almeida was trying to come in for the cutoff, and it went over her head. Maida standing at 5'4". The ball just sailed right over her, and she was leaping to try and grab it as well. That one swung on, and it's in foul territory. 3 Eagles go over to get it, and DeAngelis nearly charged through Rick Harduli, and then Dickinson was right there as well. So count remains 1-2. Caldwell looks to get the first out of the game. You're just joining us now. Post lost game 1, 8-3. It's a ball upstairs, 2-2. Caldwell's had a few great starts coming to this one. Kind of struggling in her game against Jefferson, but slowly built the confidence, it seems like, in her last several starts for Post. We'll do it again with a 2-2 count to Oros. 4 foul balls and 2 balls on this at-bat. Pitch is high for a ball, 3-2. Three-two count from from Caldwell to Oros. Swung on and missed. So big first out there Brings Maya Jones to the plate. Totally forgot as well that post-university women's lacrosse is in action right now also. I may have said men's lacrosse earlier when I was on the first broadcast, but we're going to pretend if you were here for game one that you didn't hear that. It is actually the women playing tonight. They currently trail 8-6 in the second quarter. That one's low for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. And we were talking this morning to Deb Delfino before the game, head coach of the women's lacrosse team, and she said this is a must-win game for us. Currently post on the outside looking in at the 7th overall in the CACC. Need to be top 6 to get into the lacrosse tournament. And Bridgeport is tied with them at 2-2. You cannot lose tonight, or else Bridgeport holds the tiebreaker, and now even though you're only 1 game out in the loss column, you're actually 2 games out overall because you can't tie them. You have to get ahead of them. That's low for a ball to Jones, first and second out for Benjamin. And the other thing about that, too, is you have 4 home games coming up, but they're against the top-tier teams in the CACC, outside of, I believe, one of those teams. So those are all important factors in this whole thing. We're taking a look at the baseball score as well as Caldwell delivers. High for a ball. 13-0. In the top of the 7th still, it says. Post got 6 runs on 3 hits in the 6th. They're already up 7-0. That's going to be a big win for them to get back after losing to Goldie Beacom twice at home. This one's popped in the air. Maida goes back, grabs it for the second out of the inning. And strangely enough, all things considered with how this inning has played out so far, a very sloppy start for the Eagles. Again, don't want to sound too harsh, but 2 very poor throws ended up resulting in a run. They've been able to now hold down this Bridgeport lineup. But the one other thing is Borowski's on the mound, and the Eagles, while they did get 2 runners on in the 7th, really one off of the error and then one off of, I believe it was a single. They have not shown consistency against Borowski so far. And if you can't score runs, you can't win games. And already trailing 1-0 with the way Borowski pitched in Game 1, if she's able to keep that up in Game 2, this is going to be a tough game for the Eagles to win. But they'll have to do it, hopefully, with some small ball to get some runs across. Eagles scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings of game number 1. Never held off the scoreboard for the final 5 of the affair, even though they did have runners in scoring position multiple times, just not able to get them across the plate. Sheeby at the dish, swung on and missed. Count moves to 2-2. Sun starting to dip behind a few low clouds. Kind of helping to cool things off out here. And that one's in there for a strike. So 2 strikeouts from Caldwell. Gets her out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the first. Post losing 1-0. Sam Ricarduli to the plate. Borowski on the mound to do this one. She came in game number 2 in the 5th inning with first and second in a 2-run game, no one out, and then got Tomasello and the rest of the lineup to go down low. Oh, that's up. That one's off the car. Right off the roof. So Ricarduli down the count 0-2. Swung on and fouled. I'll stay in play, but off the cage. Looking in the bullpen, Jenny Riquelme getting in a few throws. Saw some Bridgeport players also getting some throws in the first game, so it could just be only that, as that one's hit towards the foul line and out of play. Count remains 0-2. As we're looking now, Post 2 outs away from the win there. They're trailing 9-6 at Bridgeport. Chopped back to Borowski. Easy for her. She's got it over to first, one away. Now Caitlin DeAngelis to the plate. We mentioned it before. 4 hits away from joining the 150 hit club. It's looking more likely that she'd be getting it if she does tomorrow. You don't typically see batters get 4 at-bats in softball unless they hit around a lot. So, I think to go again, I mentioned in game 1, 4 for 4 is very tough to do. If anybody can do it, it's DeAngelis, but with only 1 hit in game 1, it seems more likely that she'll get it tomorrow if she can get a hit or 2 here. And of course, win or lose, we will definitely speak to her about what that milestone means, if she even knows she's approaching that milestone. One count to her. Fouled off. Another interesting thing we learned this week when we were looking up DeAngelis to figure out how many hits she was away. When you Google search her, a picture from when she made CACC Honor Roll appears as the first picture under a famous author with a Harvard degree and a PhD, who also has the name Caitlin DeAngelis. But for some reason, the first picture you see is our Caitlin DeAngelis from Post University. Don't believe me? Look it up right now while she's at bat. If she takes this 1-2 count, fouled back again. That's 4 straight foul balls. Count remaining 1-2. We'll do it again as DeAngelis has now fouled back 5 in a row. Fouled off again. DeAngelis lines out the short. Now Sakala will come to the plate. And 2 outs. It's only a 1-0 game still. She fouls the first pitch off. Eagles starting to make contact with Borowski's pitches, so that's the step in the right direction. They were looking at a lot in her initial couple of innings. Oh, 1. Oh, for a ball, 1-1 the count. Still only 1 out in the Bridgeport game, although I don't know if that's just because maybe the internet possibly went down there. There's been some issues at Municipal with that from time to time with the live stats. That one's low for a ball, 2-1 the count. on the ground to first, and that just took an unfortunate hop on the first baseman there, Jones. So that's going to be an E3 fielding. Sakala on base now for Lily Tomasello. Yeah, the game is final. It looks like it was 13-0. I'm watching Griffin Cass, our other broadcaster, talking to, I believe, Dario Sosa after the game. So, hey, if you're tuning into us and you didn't see the interview with Dario Sosa, it's on right now, and it'll be archived on the website as well after that. So Post wins 13-0. Eagles here now trying to see if they can get themselves in the win column. As that one's low for a ball. 1-0. And as they approach halftime, it is 9-6. Bridgeport. It was 5-5 after 1. 4-1. The Eagles have been outscored in the second. Tomasello swings and misses. 1-1. Klara Domakowska and Roxana Debitska each have a few goals each. Amber McGee's also added her name to the score column. That one's hit in the air deep to center field by Tomasello at the warning track. Well, there's no warning track here, but it was close to where a warning track would be. She's retired. End of the first. 1-0 Bridgeport. First pitch from Caldwell, high for a ball to Horton. Apologies, I'm trying to snack a little too. It's been a long afternoon out here. The reinforcements will be here soon, though, too, because baseball has just got done, so it'll help ease a little bit of the stuff that's going on. Count 1-1 to Horton. Now, officially at halftime, it is 9-6. Women's lacrosse trails. Pretty much the exact same defensive alignment. Actually, I think it's the exact same defensive alignment for Post. That one's grounded foul. 2-2. On the infield, you got Tomasello, Maida, Brooke Dickinson, DeAngelis. Behind the plate, Sakala. On the mound, Caldwell. From left to right, Rick Cardulli, Carly Peruso, and right in front of me, Alyssa Calabrese. 2-2 to Horton, no outs, 1-0 Bridgeport. Caldwell tried to paint the top of the zone, can't. Count remains, or goes to 3-2. It's full now. That one's grounded to third. DeAngelis over to first, one away. Haley Kim now. stepping in with one away. It's in their first strike, 0-1. Right now, I believe we didn't charge the run to Caldwell, but now that I realize it, I'm going to have to go back through and re-look at the inning to double check if that run should be earned or not, because with runners moving because of errors, it does change if it's earned or not. So technically after McFarland's single, it would have been first and second. On the steal, the runner would have been at third, and then with the walk and the bases loaded. So it looks like that run's going to be unearned. So you just saw it live going through the rest of the inning, the first inning. Caldwell's one run is, going to be officially unearned. Which I believe we may have already actually ruled at that. Yeah, it's already ruled, unearned. Because the run did score on a throwing error, but the runner was already at third because of another error and should have been at second. High for a ball, Kim walks. Dorita now at the dish. With one out. Crowd's thinned out a little bit since game number 1. It was a beautiful afternoon, and now that it's started to, it's not even chilly. It's still very warm out. But as people have classes and other things going on, they've departed. Caldwell delivers. That's going to be bunted. They're going to try and sacrifice the run over to first or second, and this Bridgeport speed is something else. And if you're not quick on your feet getting that ball off the ground, nothing's doing for you. And Post is seeing that right now with their fielders not having enough speed to get to that ball by the time Bridgeport's halfway up the line. Just saw it again there. And I honestly, with the runners they have on base in Dorita and Kim, watch out for a double steal. Side for a ball. Only one runner caught stealing by Sakala today in game number 1. They already had a stolen base in the first inning. It's in their first strike. I said, look at the box score from game 1. 3 stolen bases and a caught stealing in game 1. So they're 3 for 4 on stolen bases, 4 for 5 now, and on the day. Count goes 2-1. That one's line foul off the top of the dugout. Count moves to 2-2. Caldwell looks to keep the Bridgeport lineup in check here. Grounded foul. One hop to Tomasello's right. Again, if you hear me missay if it's right or left field, we are currently broadcasting from right field. So my perception is flipped. So it looks like right field is actually left field and left field's right. That one's lined to left field. Foul. Rick Arduli going to grab that one near the fence. The count goes to 2-2. Caldwell delivers, and that one's going to go down the line, foul. And into the tarp tube. And out the other side. I don't know if Alyssa realized that it went out the other side. Now she does, but yeah, they're going to grab that. Alyssa was not going to crawl into the tube to get that one, but it shot out the other side, and so they got to get it back into play. And now Caldwell's got 2 balls in her hand. Two count, 1 out. Skied in the air to center. Caught by Peruso. Runners aren't moving. They'll remain at first and second. There's 2 down. Side for a ball and 1-0. To McFarland, she's going to lay down a bunt, and no one's covering first. So Meg McFarland reaches on a sack bunt because no one got over to first to cover. I believe she's laid down 2 or 3 bunts now and reached safely on all of them. That brings Angela Oros to the plate. The base is loaded. Not much you can do about that if you're Sakala because Tomasello charged in on and Maida wasn't at first to serve as the rotating backup to first for Tomasello, so no one to throw to. And now the bases are going to be loaded with 2 outs. That one's outside for a ball. 1-0. It's on the ground foul. D'Angelo snags it in foul territory, so count will go to 1-1. Caldwell coming to this at bat, 48 pitches, 24 for strikes. Eagles, though, are going to have to make sure they don't allow too many. Borowski's had their number so far, and they have not been able to solve how they can hit off her. Caldwell delivers. Chopped on the ground towards short. Dickinson throws over to second, and Maida can't handle it. 2 runs are going to score. That's going to be a fielder's choice and an error on Maida. Dickinson. We'll take another look at that. Definitely goes down as a fielder's choice. There's going to be an error either on the fielding or the throw. For now, it's going to be ruled an E4 fielding. 2 runs score, no RBIs there. There's a 1-0 count to Maya Jones. It's in there for a strike. Low for a ball. 2-1. Taking another look at it here on our handy dandy iPhone. Dickinson far back in the hole. Yeah, just mishandled by Maida, and it's going to result in 2 runs, and now another one's going to come in to score on that single by Jones. Runner moves over to third. McFarland in the score. All these runs go down as unearned now because of the play at second. Isabel Benjamin now to the plate with 2 outs. That's out for a ball, 1-0. In slow-mo, when you look at it, Dickinson had the throw to the base, and it was towards the outside of the base as Maida was coming over, but Maida got a full glove on it, and it popped out of her glove at the top. So that'll be scored in E4 fielding. And that'll be now 3 runs in so far for Bridgeport this inning after the single by Jones. 2 runs scored on that other one. Line to DeAngelis at third. That'll end the inning. Not before 3 runs come across for the Purple Knights. They lead 4-0 after 1.5. Bottom of the second, Julia Maida coming up to the plate. As she comes up to the plate, I'm going to try and snag some photos of her from up here. We're on triple duty right now. Play-by-play, photo camera, and stats. As Maida's got a 1-1 count right here. Fouls that one off. Count moves to 2-1. Eagles trailing 4-0. No hits so far. Broski's held them in check. Last 4 innings she's faced them. Was low for a ball. Count moves to 3-1. Three-run counts in there for a strike, and now it goes full on Maida. 3-2. Fouled off, and she stays alive. Parking lot's cleared out as classes have gotten out. I mean, there's still classes going on, obviously, on campus, but unless you're one of the late-night owls, you're probably not taking classes at this point, as that one's low for a ball, and Maida will walk to first. That brings Jules Regano to the plate. She's one of our many helpers who's been super reliable all year from this softball team to help us out at home games. Talked about it a little in game 1 if you missed it, about the immense amount of help, not just our softball team, but all our student athletes are to help make our broadcasts and everything possible that we've produced this year. But especially softball, it's almost a full team effort when they're not in season to help us. Going through the list, Julia Maida, Caitlin DeAngelis, Jules Sakala, Carly Peruso, Regano. I say Regano because it's also Jules Regano, Sam Ricarduli, Lily Tomasello. All people who have helped us out from the softball team this year, including also Lady Rivera, the assistant coach. And, of course, Assistant Athletic Director Mike Brianza, as Regano fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-2. As Rick Arduli providing a few more balls for home plate umpire. Broski set with the 0-2. High for a ball, 1-2. Eagles trailing by 4 here, looking to get something happening, and Regano's going to go down on strikes. So 1 away. That'll bring Alyssa Calabrese up to the dish with 1 away and a runner on. Calabrese takes pitch number 1 low for a ball. Underway in the second half over in Bridgeport. It's 10-7. Purple Knights women's lacrosse. It's in their first strike as count moves to 1-1. Eagles on a 5-game losing streak, trying to snap that here with a win in game number 2. One is low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Calabrese with the 2-1. Swung on and missed, and Maida has to dive back into first. Looking at the photos we just took with that one, it looks like it tailed away from Calabrese's bat at the last minute. Swung on and missed again, and she was on top of that one, and that'll be out number 2. So the leadoff runner getting on in Maida. Now the last 2 batters have gone down by the way of the K for Post. Brooke Dickinson now. Swung on and missed. That one was pretty much flush with the bat. Looks like she got just over it, slightly over it. That pitch is high for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. Dickinson to the dish, 1-1. Ball's high, 2-1. That one's in there for a strike, and Maida just gets back. He's coming a little bit far off that base, and Horton has multiple times now tried to get her out. Swung and miss. 3 straight strikeouts for Borowski. Eagles drop 4-0 going to the 3rd. Jenny Raquelme into the game now. Caldwell exits after just 2 innings of work. And look, I mean, she had a decent outing. The problem is the fielding for Post kind of, again, I mentioned in the first game, at times the fielding has been what's let the pitchers out to dry for Post, and that's what happened in that last inning. Is only 1 run had come. No runs were going to come in that inning, and then Maeda was unable to hold on to the ball at second. 2 runs scored, and then a single scored another, and just like that, a 1-0 game turned to 4-0. And with the way Borowski for now 5 straight innings has really held these Eagles bats in check, they have a lot of work to do to try and solve her on the mound and figure out how they can get themselves back into this game. I also see now Alyssa Hughes is there, and I think now Bree Hines is coming behind the plate. Yep, because I see Juliana Sakala in the bullpen, so there's a change. Flow for ball, 1-0 to Shibi. Kelme pitched yesterday. In game number 1, Sunday in game number 1. Caldwell pitched game number 2 for senior day. And Raquelme had a strong outing in that one too. And a few extra inning errors, again, helped lead to 4 runs for for the Rams. And Post nearly had to come back in the bottom half of that 8th inning, but not able to finish the job. DeAngelis gets that one at third, fires on over to first to Tomasello. 1 away. Eagles, after that game 1 loss, 4-25 on the year, 1-12 in conference play. Bridgeport with the win moved to 12-17, 9-2 in conference play. The Eagles so far this year, 3 out-of-conference wins. One of those was a conference opponent, but it didn't count towards the conference record in Felician. Swung on and missed by Horton, 0-2. They beat Felician down in Florida during the spring break trip. Also beat Ursuline. Got their first conference win against Bloomfield a few days ago. That one's chopped on the ground to DeAngelis. She fires over to first. 2 away. 2 straight 5-3s. Send Kim to the dish. Two wins down in Florida, 2 wins since Post has gotten back. 1 against AIC and then 1 against Bloomfield. AIC win is their only home win so far this year. Trying to get win number 2 at Lemoy Field in game number 2. Low for a ball, count moves to 1-1. Eagles have now, after today, will have played, actually, I'm not even going to say after today because we have 2 more tomorrow against Chestnut Hill. And Chestnut Hill will come into that one. I believe they're playing this afternoon against Goldie Beacom. As of right now, only 1 win on the year. So it's going to be a battle between 2 of the teams towards the bottom of the conference for some big conference games, but Eagles have some work to do in the bottom half of the 3rd as Tomasello gets that ground out. 3-0 Bridgeport, or 4-0 Bridgeport. Carly Peruso up to the dish. Something just happened in the outfield. Grace Dorito was in the splits on the ground. But Peruso to the dish now. There's a little bit of a wind coming in now. Swung on and missed. Oh, and 1 the count. Welcome back upstairs, Hannah Marriott. What did you get at Starbucks? That one's a strike. Looks like some kind of pink drink. 0-2 the count to Peruso, and she swings and misses, so that's going to be another. That's 4 straight batters retired by strikeout. Sam Ricarduli coming to the plate. Please hold while I put my sweatshirt on. Grace Dorita says she fell while running. We could hear her from the outfield here. It's always interesting being up here because you can hear everything the outfielders are talking about, and they can hear everything you're saying too. But we keep it family friendly up here, as that's a nice ball on the ground, as Rick Arduli is going to get on with the first hit of the afternoon for Post. DeAngelis now coming to the dish again, 4 hits away from 150. If we had the ability to mic up the outfielders, I think that would be a pretty interesting experience because it's really not too much of a distraction to do that. But for the most part, a lot of where we see the balls get hit to are on the infield. There's very few outfield opportunities. And as someone who played a little bit of outfield in Little League several years ago, it gets a little bit boring out there when you're not doing something like pitching. 0-1 count, chopped on the ground. That one's going to get through. It's a base hit, and now first and second. So that puts DeAngelis 3 away from 150. Again, right now it seems unlikely that she'd be able to get that 150 today. But there's still plenty of time, and, I mean, depending on how many at-bats they go, yeah, maybe DeAngelis can get up 3 more times. We'll be optimistic about it. Stepping up to the dish now, though, is, I believe that's Bree Hines. Yeah, that's Bree Hines, who came in for Sakala, who is warming up Alyssa Hughes in the bullpen. It was low for a ball, 1-1. Eagles have had first and second. I believe this is the 4th time in the doubleheader. I believe this is the 3rd time in the doubleheader they've had it with no outs. And on all of those opportunities, they have not cashed in. And they're going to try and see if they can do it here. And they need to try and do it here because they are trailing by 4 runs. And you have the heart of the lineup up to do it, do some damage. If Hines can get on, Tomasello would be the tying run on deck. Good take there. And she's staying alive. Counts 3-2, 1 out. Borowski fires. That one looked like it was going to go upstairs, but Hines does a good job of fighting it off, and count remains 3-2. Looked like that pitch had a lot of rise on it. Three-two. Hines lifts that one in the air, foul, and Dorito, almost a nice diving catch. Just out of her reach. McFarland giving her some words of encouragement after that. Dorita now hugging the line a little bit more. Hines swings and just gets a piece of that one. She'll stay alive for the 9th pitch of the at-bat. 9th pitch coming here. Hines fouls another one off. Pitch number 10 coming for Bree Hines, who just came into the game last half inning. Can she help the Eagles get on the board? And that's low for a ball, and this is the kind of scenario you want. You now got the bases loaded, nobody out. Lily Tomasello, your cleanup hitter at the dish. So Tomasello with a chance to tie it up with one swing of the bat. And she has the power to do it if she gets the right pitch. But Borowski's retired her the last 2 times she's been up. Pitch is outside for a ball. You're seeing a lot more patience from these Eagle hitters. 41 strikes for Borowski on 59 pitches into this at bat. But these last 3 hitters have taken their pitches a lot more and waited for the right one. As Tomasello lines that one over the head of the second baseman. Dorita bobbles it, and then DeAngelis slipped while she was getting up, but she's still going to score anyways. So we're going to give that a RBI, and then 2 errant throws now, actually. So Dorita's bobble allows a second run to score. It is a single. Single to the outfield. Tomasello advances. Hines is now on third because of an error. DeAngelis scored on the E7. That one's fouled off. We're going to take another look at it. So Tomasello is only going to get credit for 1 run. That one was fouled off. Got to see what that second throw was, because that was why another run scored and the runners moved up. Excuse me, that's why the runners moved up to third, second and third. So we'll take a little peek at that. 1-1 the count. High for a ball, 2-1. So Dorita's bobble allows the run to score. Sorry, McFarland on the throw, I think, is going to get charged with that. Second run score, excuse me, the runner's moving up. And again, the patience of the Eagles paying off in this inning, as Maida now has 3 balls and 1 strikes against her, and it's also only 1 out. Nice placement there from Borowski. 3-2. Second and third, only 1 out though. Chopped on the ground to second. They're going to go home with the play, and it wasn't a force, so that's actually going to be a fielder's choice and an RBI. Not quite sure what the thought process there from Kim was. But it works out in favor of Post. It's a fielder's choice, and Maida's going to get an RBI for that. I mean, even Dawn Stearns is saying, what are you doing? Take the out at first. Because now it's runners on the corners with only 1 out. And it would have been 4-3 anyways, and you would have at least had the out. But instead now you have first and third with still only 1 out and a chance now to sacrifice fly to tie the game. So on that play, the previous one, the bobble by Dorita will score a run. So that initial run by Tomasello does net an RBI. An E7 because of the fielding allows DeAngelis to score. McFarland then airmailed the throw, allowing the runners to advance up a base. So that goes down as an E7, E8 to score those previous runs. They looked up here and saw me when I said that. But that's how it goes down. So we'll have to double check earned runs and unearned runs too at the end of this inning when we recreate it. But officially, that last at bat from Tomasello, which scored 2, 1 RBI for her, and E6 allows the second run to score, and E7 allows the runners to advance to second and third. So far in this game, we've got 4-4-3 for Bridgeport, 3-3-3 for Post. Runners on the corners, only 1 out here in the third inning. High for a ball, and again, patience for these Eagles hitters has been the key here. Borowski, they're forcing her to try and throw strikes, whereas first few innings they were kind of just swinging away at anything. That's a good pitch to swing at there, but Regano swings through it. Eagles a big chance here to tie up the game. It's 4-3. They trail. Partially due to some mental errors by the Bridgeport defense. That one's, oh man, I thought she got that one going towards the outfield, but depth perception is hard to tell from up here, and that one back to the backstop. 1-2 the count. Gone on the 1-2, takes. Nope, actually that's going to be a strike. I didn't see the umpire signal, and now the runners on the corner stay put with Calabrese, the freshman, coming to bat. So Alyssa Calabrese. That's going to be a strike. They're going to try and do a rundown play here. That's going to score the tying run. So, I mean, they're cheering her on. She did exactly what she had to do, technically speaking. So that goes down as a ball. It goes home as a stolen base for Tomasello, technically. And that'll go down as a caught stealing for Maida in the pickle. We'll try and get the official ruling on that after this break here. We're tied up at 4, heading to the 4th? Yeah, the 4th. I'm still trying to decipher how that rundown just went. It goes 2-6-3. That's what I got so far. I'm currently looking at it. 2-6-3. Wherever Haley Kim is playing. 2-6-3 Kim. That one's high for a ball. 2-6-3-4. Caught stealing. Tomasello advances home. It was a double steal. As for earned runs and unearned runs, I don't know so far. There's a lot going on with that. We'll figure that out next half inning. Umpire's talking about something. I was looking down to figure out the other thing, so don't have that right now. Riquelme delivers, and that's in there for a strike. 1-2 the count now. I smell barbecue. Somebody's grilling. Not us. Pitch is high for a ball. But whoever it is, I'm jealous of right now. The sun started to go out of view. It is 4-4, 4th inning. Both teams with, I don't know why I was about to say both teams with 4 runs. I just said it was 4-4, but Eagles scoring 4 in that last inning because of some errors. And we appreciate you joining us for game number 2. Had some technical issues in game 1, and this one's going to go down 4-3, hopefully. Oh, my gosh. Dorita was hustling down that line to the point where I honestly thought she was safe by a step or two. Great play by her. Great play by the infield. Made it to Tomasello to retire the speedy Dorita on her way to second. Excuse me, on her way to first. So 1 away. D'Amato, top of the lineup up. I was in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. The bleacher creatures out here, the parents supporting post, are still here. But everyone else is left that was out here earlier in the game. That one's nice shading by Maida. Great play by Maida to get over there and get that throw over to Tomasello. 2 away. Momentum has quickly shifted in favor of post. You got to just escape this inning and go back to what you were doing with the bats. Patience is the key. And force some mental errors. I would like to say I want to take a little bit of credit for distracting the outfielders in the last half inning because they were listening to what I was saying the entire time. But, you know, I'm also going to give credit to the hitters for putting it in good spots. Teamwork makes the dream work. "1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. Three errors apiece for both sides. A whole lot of probably unearned runs when it's all said and done. That one's hitting the air to Peruso. She's got it. 1-2-3. Go the Knights. Post coming to bat, tied at 4. Borowski's still out there pitching, swung on and missed by Calabrese, who gets another at-bat because the last half inning ended with a very heads-up base running play by Julia Maida. They tried to do it in the last doubleheader here against Jefferson, and Maida did what she was supposed to do, but I cannot remember who was on third. Broke late, and because she broke too late, Maida didn't have enough time to stall everybody for that runner to score. And no runs came out of it. That one's fouled away by Calabrese, and the count 1-1. Wind has started to not really pick up, but there's a little bit more of a breeze than there was this earlier in the afternoon. And the temperature has dropped just a little. That one's off of Borowski's glove. It's going to be close. Calabrese just in the nick of time. If she was a lefty hitter, she probably would have beat that out because it's a little bit less of a distance to go. But bang, bang, Borowski gets the play at first. That brings Brooke Dickinson to the plate with 1 out. Brand new ball game here, 4-4 all. And therefore a strike, 1-0-1. Borowski's pitch count already up into the 70s, and she pitched the last 3 innings of game number 1, so I would have to look at her pitching numbers from game 1 as we're seeing a little bit of impatience now at the plate with the last 2 hitters who are kind of just swinging away in Dickinson and Calabrese. Isabella Benjamin also playing first base. She came in at the start of the inning. One away here. Swung on and missed. 2 down. So Isabella Benjamin moves to first. I'm guessing Maya Jones just moved to the DP spot since they're both in the lineup. Our helper in behind the plate in Julia Wysocki texting us the changes out here. We appreciate her and all her help today with that. That one swung on and missed by Peruso. Fortunately, the box score on the phone doesn't seem to want to agree with giving me the pitch count. That one's in there for a strike from game number 1. But Borowski probably somewhere around, I would have to guess, from game 1 to 2 at 74, 77 pitches after this pitch here. Probably around 110, if I had to guess. And I do see number 44, Olivia Young, the freshman, warming up. She's 0-1 on the year on the mound. That one's in there for a strike, and down go the Eagles. So we head to the 5th inning, tied up at 4. Jenny Raquelme back out to the mound. The first base ump and the home plate ump are talking to the coaches, I think. I think they're just getting water. I don't know. Well, if they're getting water, I'm going to get water up here. There we go. I'm refreshed. I'm ready for the 5th inning. The umps look ready for the 5th inning. I think. Something's going on, I think, because I don't... So we got a little bit of a timeout, and I don't know why. Something's going on the hill behind home. Now a bunch of players are running down the right field line. We have no clue what's going on. Oh, okay. Uh, the baseball players were being bad, and I guess they were chirping a little. So they've been asked to move to the outfield. Yeah, so they were just removing some of the post-football players from behind home plate. They're now watching from the outfield instead. I guess there was a little bit of a back and forth between a player and some players. So we're going to play on now. That disturbance has been dealt with. And let's play inning number 5. Also, we should note, because it is almost 6 o'clock, there are no lights here. So if the sun does set and we're still tied, this would go down as a tie. So, chop chop as we get back to it here in the top of the 5th. We still have 3 innings to play unless one team or the other mercied the other, which I don't think that's going to happen in this one. This has been a really tightly contested matchup between both teams. That's Angela Oros at the plate from Yuma, Arizona. Low for a ball, 2-0. Two-0 count. Again, Post trying to snap this losing streak, which is at 5 games currently. Swung on kind of a half swing. It goes foul. And the count moves to 2-1. High for a ball, and the count moves to 3-1. Might be a 3-2 count, actually. Find out here. That one's bombed in the air to left field. Rick Harduli going over to get it. It's foul. Yeah, not worth trying to dive for that one because there is a giant brick wall out in left field. So smart heads-up play by her not to go trying to dive for that one. We've got our own little variation, I guess you might call it, of the Wrigley Field wall in foul territory. I wouldn't recommend as a Cubs player to run into that either, but nonetheless, that's ball 4, and down to first will go Oros. So the leadoff hitter on base for the Purple Knights. And that will send Maya Jones to the plate, who's now the DP, as I believe as Isabella Benjamin moved over to first. That one's in there for a strike. Counts 0-1. Olivia Young still warming. Raquelme hits that one Raquelme didn't hit that one. Great catch by Alyssa Calabrese right in front of us, and that's 1 out here in the 5th inning. Now will come Isabella Benjamin to the plate. That's outside for a ball to Benjamin. Heads up in foul territory. Olivia Young almost got her head taken off as the wall over there that came off of it. The ball ricocheted off the wall, and Young ducked. Outfield shaded a little bit farther back out here in right field. It's low for a ball. 3-1. Calabrese about 10 steps from the warning track here. Peruso probably about 15, 20, and then Ricard Dooley probably the closest in on that side. That one's foul. Count moves to 3-2. Jenna Raquelme looking to get the second out of the inning. That one's high for a ball. Guess it wasn't 3-2. Now it's 3-2. We've got a little competition of our own going on up here now. Grace Glassrud and Hannah Marriott competing for who can take better pictures of our softball girls. As that's a walk to Benjamin. And now it's first and second. Now she's taking pictures of me. It's first and second now for Sheeby. So Samantha Sheeby to the plate. First and second with one out. In there for a strike. Similar spot to that fourth ball of the last at bat. Again, we're tied at 4. But we're also about an hour away from the sun setting. So we got a race against the clock here at the same time. As that one's lifted in the air. Peruso going back, makes the grab. Second out of the inning. Big play for her. Keeps this one at that's saved probably a run or 2. Peruso's had some great catches out there in this doubleheader. Peruso and Calabrese on this side of the field have been very good at playing the ball off the wall as well. In game 1 in the 7th inning, held Bridgeport to a long single on a ball off the wall because of the cutoff. And Ricard Dooley has made some great plays out in left field. That one's popped foul. Out of the reach of anybody, and the count goes to 0-1. Eagles looking to escape this inning without allowing a run. It's first and second. That one's just off the plate for a ball, 1-1. Got started here about an hour, 15 minutes ago. That one's low for a ball, 2-1. And it's kind of more of a back and forth game than I think we may have thought because of the way we saw Borowski pitching in game number 1. We almost thought that she had the Eagles' number. And then they hit her well, and now that's a big hit there by Horton, and that's going to score a run. No! What a play. I did not see. Are they calling catcher's interference? Or, sorry, are they calling? Oh, they got to play somewhere else. I looked down for a second, and they did get the run. So the run scored. Run scored. And then the out was elsewhere in the field. I missed where it was exactly. So Bridgeport takes a 5-4 lead going into the bottom of the 5th. Broski still in the game. Sam Ricarduli at the plate. Michael Vesci with you on the call and uploading photos at the same time. Taking photos, uploading photos, statting a game. 5-tool SID. That one's foul. And the count goes to 0-1. The football players really having a time of their lives out here in the outfield, cheering on the Eagles at the plate. Ricarduli. Looking to see what she can do here. It's low for a ball. Swung on and missed by Ricarduli. She goes down swinging. Borowski gets a big out there. So Bridgeport makes it a 5-4 game. Now 1 out. This was the heart of the order that got post their runs a few innings ago. Again, they also were the beneficiaries of a few miscues by the Bridgeport defense. Like I mentioned, D'Angelo scored on an error on Dorita trying to field the ground ball, and then McFarland's throw allowed the runners to advance into scoring position. And then a little bit of a mental error at second base by Kim allowed a run to score in DeAngelis. And then Tomasello scored on a rundown situation. So it was a kind of a weird and wacky play there, wacky few sequences of events that allowed Post to get those 4 runs, but nonetheless they get the 4 runs, and it changes the complexity of this game. That one is way upstairs, and D'Angelo swung at that. She is 3 hits away now. 3 or 4, I think. I believe she's got a hit today. Yeah, she's 3 away from 150. So if you're joining us tomorrow, very good chance that she'll do it against Chestnut Hill. Chestnut Hill again, I don't want to undercut any team. Chestnut Hill, though, not one of the better teams in the CACC when it comes to softball. So there's opportunity possibly for Post to be able to not only snag a few really big conference wins, but get the offense really going. And DeAngelis can do that right here. Or DeAngelis can do that tomorrow. It's in their first strike. Bridgeport leading Post 17-12 in lacrosse. Closing minutes of the 4th. That's a big loss if Post can't come back, because the tiebreaker goes Bridgeport's way, and the Eagles are really at risk of not being able to qualify for the CACC tournament. Softball is in kind of the same boat right now, where every game is kind of a must-win situation for them. We've gotten to that point of the season where the room for error is really starting to get small, and got to get a few wins here. And then men's lacrosse is firmly right now in the number 3 spot in the conference, but they still have some heavyweight teams to play. So as the season winds down, that one's a strikeout looking, and the season winds down, every game becoming more and more crucial. We head to the 6th, 5-4 Bridgeport. Post trailing 5-4, top 6. Haley Kim to the dish. Might be able to hear the football fans behind me. Football players behind me cheering on our team. Right now, Borowski charged with 4 runs, 3 earned. That'll change to 1 earned run. Maida in the gap, and Tomasello came way too far over to go and grab that one. Because of it, Kim's going to get on just by a step. The unfortunate part about that is Maida's been really great in that gap, and instead of letting her go for it, Tomasello tried to field initially. That throws everything out of whack in terms of the fielding alignment, and Maida grabs it, and they're not going to be able to get anything out of it. And now here comes a situation where Bridgeport's going to bunt, and Post has struggled today against the bunt. And Dorita, nonetheless, is one of the fastest players we've seen on the field for Bridgeport, just in her last at-bat alone. So Tomasello's got to charge in fast, and Maida's got to get over really quick. That's going to go on the ground. Hines throws over to first and airmails it into left field. Excuse me, right field. So that goes down as a... I mean, that was going to be a close play at first anyway, so I'm pretty sure that'll go in as a... I'll go down as a bunt single and then advanced on an error on the throw into right field. I believe we just... Not sure what's going on. Quick timeout. Hannah Marriott asking the same question. What's going on? That is D'Amato still batting. So I think it was just a quick timeout for base path reasons to figure out how they were going to go about this. But here we go. Ball, and yeah, they're just going to let her take the stolen base because that's exactly what Post did earlier to get a run. And there's no one out. Heart of the lineup coming up. McFarland's 2 for 3 today. There's 2 ways you can go about this. You could intentionally walk D'Amato down to first to make a play to any base, or you can try and get a force out somewhere else, but you really don't want any more runs to score if you're Post. Low for a ball. Count goes to 1-1. That's the other thing. If you're not locked in on the umpire and seeing exactly what the call is, the scoreboard's to our left, but you can't really see. Can't see what's on it, so we can't see the count if we miss it live. 1-2 count. Grace Glassrud down below telling me. Aiden Kane is taking photos for us now. Everybody's getting involved now. That's outside for a ball. I only see one person behind home plate, which you could probably see them on your screen somewhere. No, not really, but there's only one person doing music, and now Kaylee's running back. Kaylee Sirianni. That one's in the air towards us. Calabrese comes over to grab it. She's going to have to fire home. Calabrese, short throw, not going to get her. Tomasello cuts it off. Kim comes in to score. I believe that run is unearned as of right now, because if I'm not mistaken, she should still be at third. That was bunted foul, and we're seeing the sack bunt attempt again from Bridgeport, and it is starting to get a little chilly now as the sun's disappearing. Now I can finally, yeah, I did get burned today. Or tan, we'll find out in the morning. We're back out here for 2 more tomorrow, like I mentioned, against Chestnut Hill. And it's not going to be as nice as it was today. It'll be cloudy with a chance of rain. Right now the games are scheduled for 2 and 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we find out in the morning, later in the morning, that maybe they get pushed back an hour or something, but they're still scheduled for 2 and 4. You never know, because sometimes teams will push up games to avoid weather, and with rain potential in the forecast for the evening, getting the games in is obviously the priority as time is winding down on the season. That one's popped foul out of play. Time's winding down on the season to get games in. Just got final scores from golf. We also have, that one's popped in the air. We'll get you scores in a moment. Calabrese not able to grab it. That's going to score another run. That's just going to be a straight double. Kind of just fell in between a few fielders. Made her try to go way back to get it. Probably farther back than she needed to. Calabrese, last minute, couldn't get into it. So we've got, Barton won the entire Trojan invite. Post finished 7th in the overall standings. So that's what we got there. That was the final for golf. They finished there. They finished 7th. And Bridgeport has pulled away, as this one is popped up. And once again, oh man, Carly Peruso made the catch. Was waiting for the signal there, didn't see it at first. What a nice catch by Carly Peruso. 2 down, 7-4. As I was saying, Bridgeport lacrosse has pulled away. It's now 20-12. With 1:38 left, 55 seconds to go now. Just got the update. Lauren Bain has faced 39 shots, 20 goals against, 7 saves. If I'm reading this correct, Amber McGee's got her first career hat trick. Roxana Dubitska's got a hat trick. The soccer girls love it because McGee also plays soccer, as that one is lined into the gap, and that's going to score another run. The second safely with the double is Maya Jones. It's now 8-4 Bridgeport as they've regained their 4-run lead here in the 6th inning. 7 goals for Tara DeMeo of Bridgeport has led the way for them. Danielle Kreitler with 4 goals. Loafer ball to Benjamin, Isabella Benjamin. Eight caused turnovers for DeMeo as well, which is quite a few. We also just got an update from tennis. 6-1 winners, so they've won 2 in a row. And text from Gene Geyser saying, we're on a roll, baby. 2 conference wins in a row. So the Eagles now back to 500 in conference play for tennis. Baseball got a win today. Lacrosse is going to go down and lose today. Softball trying to avoid being swept here, but it's not looking too good unless the bats get going in the next inning and a half. Maybe, again, the sun is starting to go down. And we saw this against Franklin Pierce. We kind of had an abrupt ending to the game, and we apologize for the way that it was was broadcasted to you. But the game was ended because the sun set, and or the sun was setting to a point where we were not able to continue play, which we did after 5 innings. Game was also 7-0 at that point. This is a conference game, so this matters a lot. 8-4, 2 outs. Runner on second, 3-2 count. Got her looking. Benjamin goes down. 8-4, Post trails. Can they get some runs in the bottom of the sixth? We'll find out next. Lily Tomasello stepping in. It's a 8-4 game. Post needs some runs here. I think we're going to play the seventh, but I don't want to just for sure say that because, again, the sun is starting to slowly descend on Lemoy Field. Tomasello ready. Borowski deals, and that was hit in the air, and Tomasello with a tank to dead center field. It's gone. Lily Tomasello unloads her 5th home run of the season. And the Eagles trail just 8-5 now as Tomasello goes big fly. So Lily Tomasello with a big blast to dead center field. The football players going wild, and Meg McFarland in center field is laughing. So the Eagles have some life now. Julia Maida now swinging right away at that one. Of course, this happens right after Grace Glassrud gave me the camera back. She misses the best moments. Maida grounds out for the first out of the inning. I guess we have to stop giving people the camera when we have big moments, because then we get big moments like that. Now they're arguing about how many photos the doubleheader should have, and between 6,000 and 7,000 is what I just heard. And only 1,000 today, Grace. Only 1,000 today, Grace. Asking how many photos she took today as Regano takes that one for a strike. If you go to our Flickr page, you'll see about 10,000 photos from our softball game earlier this year. So there's plenty of content for you to sink your teeth into over on our Flickr page. We just uploaded the baseball photos for today. That one's lined into center field. McFarland coming on, makes the grab. 2 away. The Eagles, I mean, they've shown the ability to come back at the end of games, so win the 7th. Don't count these Eagles out yet. There's still a chance. Tomasello unloaded on that first pitch the at bat. That one went a long way after it rolled. I mean, it was a no-doubter. The football players talking to Dorita out here in left field. They kind of get a reaction out of everybody out of the infield. Everybody for the most part seems to be finding it funny. The football players were apologizing to Dorita, saying, "Hope we're not bothering you," and Dorita's like, "Nah, you guys are good." Yeah. Infield seems to be okay with it too, but Borowski seems to be staring them down. That one swung and missed. 0-1 the count. That one's outside for a ball. It's Calabrese. And now Calabrese unloads on one, but that's not going to be deep enough. McFarland steps back around the 30-yard line, makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. But Alyssa Calabrese, I mean, down the lines, that's probably gone, but not going to get out of here today. 8-5 post, 7th inning coming up. All right, top of the 7th. We thank you for joining us so far today, but we're not done yet. 14 innings of fun is what we promised you. We are in the 14th inning of 14 innings today. Hey, there could be more if we score 3 now. Well, actually, if we score 3 and go to extras, it may be debatable if we're actually able to get those innings in, because that sun is starting to go over the horizon pretty quickly. And the rules when it comes to this stuff, now if Post were to have a major rally and it took like 30 minutes to do it, baseball/softball rules reverted back to the previously completed inning. As someone who's seen many games at Eastern Connecticut when they played Springfield, there were instances where Eastern took the lead in the inning, were pitching in the bottom of the inning, and then lost the game because it had to revert back to the last full inning despite making a comeback already. It's very interesting rules, and they're not going to suspend the game and come back and play it. That's too much work to have to travel back for possibly what would be only an inning, as that one is popped foul by Shibi into the stands. $893-544. Those are the lines for the home and away teams here in game number 2. And don't forget, 2 more games of fun tomorrow against Chestnut Hill starting at 2 o'clock. Right back here. Griffin Cass will have that one for you. At around probably 1:50, 1:55, maybe even 2 o'clock. And the Eagles will try and snap it's at 5 games right now, but unless things change here, it'll be 6. That one's going to be over Rick Cardulli's head and bounce for a ground rule double. The second ground rule double we've seen today. One's outside for a ball. So ground rule double to start the inning. And then looks like we got a pinch runner. Sidney Peralt.
What's up, brother? Hello, Brother King. Are you punching a football, brother?
Trying to make sure we put in everything correctly. That was, in fact, yeah, so that was Sheeby that hit. Peralt pinch running at second. And now I don't think that's Horton at the plate either. Can't get a view of her, and I did not hear an announcement. That one's skied in the air to center. Caught by Peruso. Over to third will go Peralt. That was Alex Hughes who just hit for the Purple Knights. I don't think we're getting another change. If you see our screens go black for a moment, our batteries are on their last life. We do have more. We're trying to see if we can get all the juice out of them that we can for these games. Mackenzie Morgan now batting, so it looks like that is Haley Kim. Couldn't see the one on her back. Since we've already had a few chances, you never know. As you may have just heard Grace saying, transparency is key. We are the Honest Nest Network here. And we are very transparent. Mena almost made a nice between-the-legs sliding stop. But Kim's going to get on with a single. Run's going to score, and that lead back up to 4 now. 9-5. Things looking kind of grim right now for Post. In game number 2 as they trail by 4 again. They had a comeback earlier in them, but do they have another one? Because Borowski's been dealing against them. Tomasello finally solved her a little bit with her big home run to center field, but really nothing else doing. Heads up, football's flying in the outfield. That one's hit towards us. Calabrese's coming in to make the grab. She does, and that'll be the second out of the 7th. We got football players, soccer players in the outfield right now. Aiden Kane working on his punting for the fall. He just lofted one about 60 yards into the wind. D'Amato at the plate, in there for a strike. 1-0, or excuse me, 0-1. See Jordan Callis, Alyssa Hebb, Aaron Nisbet, Hannah Marriott, who was helping us earlier and then disappeared to field level. Aiden Kane, RJ D'Amato, a couple other football players. Soaking in the final moments of what's been a nice, beautiful, sunny, warm day because it's going to get cool again tomorrow. That was line foul. Watch out in the stands. 2 strikes. 1-2 count. 6:38 is the time. According to my clock, it says it's 69 degrees and sunny. I don't think it's 69 anymore. And according to the other computer we have here, it says 48, which is definitely not 48. According to Kirsten's Apple Watch, it says 69. It really doesn't feel like 69, though, right now with the sun setting. That one's flied foul again. Oh, right off the security car, I think. That's going to leave a mark. That hit that on the fly, and that was a line drive. If you're coming to Lemoy Field to enjoy a game, don't park near the field. That's grounded towards Maida. Jess going to get under her glove. She had to go a long way to try and grab that one. D'Amato going to get on with a single. Park at least 3 to 4 rows to the left of the field. Don't park on the hill behind home plate. And enjoy the game. If you're here for soccer, if you're here for lacrosse, feel free to park anywhere. But softball, your car's at risk. It's in there for a strike. 0-1. Calme deals. In there for a strike. 0-2 the count. Oh, 2 coming, fouled off. Still 9-5. That one's going to just miss the tube. Earlier it went through the tube, and Calabrese decided not to crawl in there to grab it. It ended up coming out the other side. Calme trying to get the final out of this inning. Chopped over to Tomasello. That's going to hit off of the runner, so she's out. That'll end the inning. So that's an unorthodox 3 unassisted putout, fielder's choice. I believe that's how that's scored. I'm not 100% sure. We'll take a break and figure it out. So that officially goes down as a... It goes down technically as a single, we learned. And the batter is out. Excuse me, the runner is out on the play. We got a new right fielder, sorry. Sydney Peralt's out in right field now. Dorita moved to left field. Infield's looking a little different, I think. Actually, no. Pretty much the same left to right. That one's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. So, yeah, that was the first time. It's the first time I've been doing baseball and softball for, I think, 4 or 5 years now. It's the first time I've seen the ball actually hit the runner. Hannah Marriott's joined us back up here, and she's back to working hard on the camera again. That's a strikeout, and there's one out here in the 7th inning. She said, quote, "I was trying to teach the football players how to play, specifically Aiden Kane. It's teaching him how to kick." It's in there for a strike. As the Eagles 2 outs away from dropping this one. That one's fouled away. That one's lined up the middle, and the Eagles aren't dead yet. Peruso singles, top of the lineup up. Again, 9-5. Sam Ricarduli, that means Caitlin DeAngelis, unless a double play happens here, will get another chance to bat, which means she could get within 2 hits of 150. That one's going to go foul. No, oh man. Dorita almost ran into the wall. She narrowly avoids it. Sam Dorita, our friend in the outfield, has moved to left field, and now our new friend in the outfield is Sydney Peralt right in front of us. But they hit it out to our old friend Dorita in left. I have to go the other way to make sure I'm getting my bearings right. That one was foul, though, so they'll do it again. But our buddy Meg McFarland's still in center field. We're friends with all the outfielders out here because they can hear what we're saying and vice versa. Chopped foul. Count remains 0-2. Eagles have to rally quickly, too, because, again, sun's going down quick. Ricarduli, that one might have a chance for her to leg it out at first. She won't be able to. Kim over to first, 2 away. Caitlin DeAngelis now, a chance to get within 2 of 150. If this score holds, Borowski would move to 7-7. Runner took second. I lied. Runner was already at second. Borowski would move to 7-7. Caldwell would... No, I apologize. Caldwell would not fall to 1-9. Jenny Raquelme would take the loss and fall to 2-7 because Caldwell came out of the game when it was tied. Before it was tied, but then Post tied it up with Raquelme on the mound. That one's lined, and DeAngelis is 2 away. Unless she gets thrown out at first, which she almost did. Here's the interesting scenario down. Post is down 4. On deck is Tomasello. All Brianna Hines has to do is find a way on base. And then with the bases loaded, Tomasello would have a chance to tie this game up. And she hit a bomb to dead center off of Borowski in the 5th inning. No, apologies, in the 6th inning. So the Eagles have already batted around. Time flies when you're having fun. I didn't realize they already had batted all the way through the order again. But the bottom 7, 2 outs. No room for error now. Hines, low, 1-1 the count. DeAngelis now tomorrow, unless we played longer, will be 2 hits away going into tomorrow from 150, becoming the 15th player to do so. Hines on the ground. That's going to go foul. Ooh, man, that was so close. It almost looked like Benjamin over there at first had picked it before it went foul. So 1-2 count. Hines 0 for 1 today. DeAngelis will finish 2 for 4 in this one. Tomasello on deck 2 for 3 against Borowski. Hines swung on and missed, and that'll do it. So the Eagles fall in game number 2, 9-5. It was back and forth game early on, but ultimately the Eagles are going to get swept, fall to 4-26, 1-13 in conference play. Bridgeport moves to 13-17, 10-2 in conference play. Borowski goes to an even 7-7 with that win. Raquelme falls to 2-7. But the Eagles right back in action tomorrow. They'll play Chestnut Hill College. Game starting at 2 o'clock. We'll have the action for you around 1:50. Any changes to the schedule, be sure to look at the Post Eagles website to make sure that you have the latest and greatest news on all your Eagles athletics for the rest of the day and for my entire crew of many, many people who came through here all day long. We thank you for joining us for today's doubleheader of post softball. See you back here for tomorrow.